Hi everybody, I'm not an expert in project management, but I've committed to improving since I am currently managing a project at work that's important to me and some of the folks that are around me. So I've talked to a few experts, read a few books and articles, and thought I'd share some of the things that I've learned from previous projects and in my research recently. So the three things that I want to talk about project management that I've learned are: number one, preparation; number two, communication; and number three, saying no. So the first one, preparation, that one for me, it's a little tricky because it doesn't feel like work. So spending a lot of time preparing agendas, planning, talking about doing stuff, and it doesn't feel like work. So it doesn't feel to me like when I'm putting in an honest day's work. And so it's hard for me to just buckle down and do the planning and the preparation that's needed, but it totally pays off. I've seen that recently in this project that I'm managing. As much as I've been prepared for things, it's helped make things go smoothly. And of course, in projects, there's always unknowns and things that come up. And so being prepared, you're not gonna be prepared for everything, but it shows that your stakeholders that you've at least thought through the important aspects and that you're at least trying, right? So you're trying to think about things that are going on, and you're trying to prepare your stakeholders and set those expectations. So preparation is key. You're never going to be prepared for everything, but as much as you can prepare ahead of time, planning, preparing, setting agendas, and so on and so forth, that's going to help a bunch. The second thing I want to talk about is communication. And I think there's an old quote, I haven't looked it up for this, but you know, the biggest illusion with communication is that we think that it's actually happening. So as much as I think that I'm communicating stuff because I presented it a couple times in a couple different stakeholder meetings, the truth of the matter is most people need to hear things 6, 7 times. So it's going to feel to you like you're repeating an awful lot. That you just keep beating that dead horse, you're banging on that drum, and eventually people are going to listen. So repetition is helpful. Analogies, that's another thing that I've found helpful, is trying to set the vision in using analogies and stories to help explain things that might be a little bit more abstract. So communication is key. More clearly you can articulate what you're trying to accomplish and your goals and what you're trying to communicate, the better. And of course, you've got different audiences with different communication styles that you need to be aware of. So that's been something that's been helpful for me, and just receiving feedback, because at least in my experience, you're never going to get 100%. You're always going to have somebody either you missed, or you put somebody in one group and you sent that communication might not have been the best for them. So just be open to feedback with that. So that communication is definitely a two-way street. The last thing I'll share is saying no, just because there's always that scope creep and people want to be involved, and you know, there may be some ideas, and they may be very good ideas, and so it's important to capture some of those things. So capture people that might be interested in participating, capture those good ideas, capture those things that you might want to include in your project down the road, but maybe maintain those in some kind of parking lot list or a separate list, and find a way to delicately and politely say no, even if it's an important stakeholder. Sometimes the answer is, hey, you know what? We've got that on our list of things to tackle, but let's focus on those things that we've already committed to, those things that we've already scoped out, and let's bring in some of these other good ideas if and when we've got the time or resources to handle that. So those are the three things that I want to share with you all. This is kind of an informal video, so I'm sure there's tons of stuff that I've left out. So I'd be curious to hear from you if you have experience running projects. What are some of the most important lessons that you've learned that you'd like to share? And let's keep this conversation going. Thanks so much.